Yes.
Okay, so we're going to look at, this is Brock's shock. It's off of a 2019 Husqvarna TE250i. And I'm going to go ahead, it's still got its normal pressure in it. We're doing maintenance on this shock. And I'm going to go ahead and compress the shaft and then let it spring back up. The idea is to see how quickly it springs up under normal gas pressure, which is about 10 bar or 145, 150 psi. So we'll push this thing down. And here we go. You can see it springs up pretty quickly. That would tell me that there's not a lot of friction on the stock piston and inside this shock body. So we'll do it one more time. It's pretty quick, huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. So we've got this RaceTech piston ring conversion white power link shock deal, which came with this different piston ring and a single O-ring. The idea is to cut this off and replace it with this stuff. So I already videoed how quickly this shock was rebounding with its normal pressure, and it's got however many hours Brock's got on this bike, let's say 60, 80 hours. So this shock is well broken in, and I detected no stiction at all with the rebound with this stock piston ring. But Brock went ahead and bought this, so I'll put it in for him, and then we'll video it again and we'll see if it makes a big difference. Okay, I cut this stock piston ring off, and you can see the stock single O-ring in here is kind of a green, which my guess is it's like a nitrile instead of just butyl rubber or whatever. But we're going to put this one that came with the RaceTech part in there. For all I know, in fact, if I were to look at that, I'd say that that O-ring is not going to be as thick as the stock one, so that could too change how much tension is being put on this, which could contribute to the less stiction part. But it's gone in now because I cut the old one off and I can't put it back on. Okay, so shock's been rebuilt. I put the RaceTech low friction piston ring in it, and I got 10 bar of pressure, nitrogen in it. So it's basically back to what it was prior to me doing the rebuild. And we'll go ahead and press this down. Takes the same amount of effort as it did before. And look at it come up. That's pretty much the same thing that it did with the stock seal in there, the stock piston ring. To me, visually, I see no difference. So RaceTech or RaceTech, more power to you. You can sell $25 piston rings, but I don't think it really makes much difference. Maybe when you're putting it in, it was easy to put in, but I've put RaceTech ones in and I've put the stock ones in, and they're pretty simple as well. I mean, other than maybe slightly better, easier installation, and it is a split piston ring instead of one that you got to stretch and get over the piston, which to me is worth $25. I don't know that the friction or the stiction in this is really any different. So that's all I have to say. So the install was pretty simple. Just figuring out which way to orient it was the only thing that I had a little concern over. So I oriented it towards the spring of the shock, and it seemed to work just fine. Very, very simple installation and much less trouble than trying to put a Schrader valve into the shock reservoir body.